To follow breaking news out of central Texas, where at least 27 people are dead from severe flash flooding. And officials say 27 girls from a summer camp in Kerr County are still missing. Joining me right now is Nick Sorter, who is with the United Cajun Navy, a volunteer group primarily from the Louisiana region, assisting in recoveries and rescues in a variety of natural disasters. Nick is joining us now live from Kerrville, Texas. So, Nick, what have been your observations? How have you all been able to help?
You know, it's devastating out here. I mean, the videos, as always, they do it justice. The people have lost everything. You know, if your house was even close to the riverbank, it's gone, swept off the foundation. At this point, we don't know how many people were even home when this happened. If you were home and that happened, you probably got swept down the river. You know, driving up and down the riverbank, Camp Mystic, several miles down the road here. Obviously, that's what we've been talking about a lot, and that's what we've been focusing a lot of resources on, is finding those missing children. I just got back from Camp Mystic, and I'm telling you, how close that was to the riverbank. There's a cliff on one side, so the camp is trapped in between the cliff and the river. There was nowhere for these kids to go. The buildings were washed out, just carved out from the inside. If you were inside one of those buildings, if you were a thing or a person inside those buildings, you got washed down the river. And the rescue operations with river boats, you can see all the debris everywhere in the water route here. Those trees that are in the way, you're constantly chainsaw to try to get down the river. That is hampering relief efforts out here. You can see the clouds are very low clouds, making helicopter rescues difficult as well. I mean, the weather is not cooperating today, and you know, these guys are working hard out here, but it's sad to see. It's really tough.
So, Nick, it sounds like for you and your group, you're spending most of your time just trying to traverse, trying to get from one point to the next. Have you actually been able to, you know, assist in, you know, rescues or recovery, or, you know, has your focus been primarily trying to create paths, you know, for other rescue and recovery workers?
Yeah, so there's several aspects to this, right? So, you know, we have the special operations volunteers that are on the ground now. We had a second wave. The Cajun Navy did come in today with multiple airboats, which are almost you're really not going to get around with anything but an airboat in this water out here. It's too shallow, too much stuff in the way, and then connectivity has been one of the biggest problems out here. Last night, you know, we've been out here like nonstop. Since this started, and overnight, police weren't able to use their radios. You know, they'd hit the button, it would just beep and not do anything. They couldn't communicate with each other. It was, you know, pitch black. Cell phones didn't work, and so we were able to reconnect a lot of them using Starlink systems. Starlink contacted me today, and they said that they're going to be every law enforcement first responder vehicle in Kerr County out here is going to be equipped with a Starlink receiver by today. So a lot of those communication issues are been working out, and the operation is being streamlined in that manner. But that was a huge hang-up overnight.
Wow, so you've been an incredible conduit, you know, to help with the communications, you know, just as one aspect of what you're doing. And then, you know, just looking at some of the videotape that we've been running, I mean, the water is treacherous along many portions of the river. You talk about your airboats. What are you all experiencing with your airboats and what you're able to traverse, and what are the currents like? Talk to me about just kind of the conditions that you've encountered.
Yeah, so the water is receding a little bit, and it's moving slower now than it was this morning, especially. And so there's a lot of first responder activity around here, obviously. And you know, as the water goes down, though, it creates more and more and more obstacles, which, you know, means you're spending tons of time moving those obstacles out of the way. Just to be able to move 100 feet down the river. And luckily, the state of Texas has mobilized dozens of additional airboats that have just gotten here recently from all across the state. Border Patrol is bringing up airboats as well. You have Coast Guard here that's just shown up recently. And so there are a lot of airboats that are being put in in various portions of the water. But also another issue that's being run into is a lot of the boat ramps have been washed away. This current was so strong, it picked up concrete and just ripped it and shoved it down the river. So obviously launching boats at some of these areas is almost impossible. I could sit here all day and name the conditions that are making this more and more difficult for rescuers. And time is precious right now, especially when we're talking about the amount of missing children, these young girls. You see these pictures, and it's horrifying to even think about.
And all of us want to remain optimistic, but based on what you have been seeing, where is your level of optimism?
Look, every minute that goes by, it looks more and more bleak. The number of missing children has not gone down significantly, unfortunately. I believe we're at nine dead, still over 20 missing children. And haven't seen much movement on those numbers today. I know there was, luckily, thank God, there was a rescue from a tree earlier this morning. I don't know if you guys have covered that or not, but 12 miles this girl went downstream and was able to be rescued after grabbing onto a tree. That is nothing short of a miracle. That is a long way in these treacherous waters. You can see how strong these currents were, looking at all the damage all over the place. It's remarkable that she was able to survive that. She beat the odds for sure.
Well, Nick Sortor, you're doing an amazing work. I know so many are so grateful that you are being the conduit in so many different facets of the rescue and recovery that continue. Thanks so much for what you and the Cajun Navy are doing.
Thank you guys for having us.
We'll have much more on the dangerous weather that is also brewing now.